Okay, I think we're live now. Um, Hello, everyone. Sunny's here. Don't mind about the guy in red on my back. He's just sitting here and helping to read scripts for me. Firstly, I hope everyone stays safe and well. It's really a crazy time for the whole world, but I do have a strong faith that we will conquer the COVID-19 eventually, like every time in the history of mankind. Um, Jack Welch used to say, attitude is everything. How we are dealing with this crisis is much more important than the crisis itself. Actually, uh, interestingly, some of Chinese culture is really fascinating with so much wisdom. Do you know what crisis mean or what crisis is in Chinese? It's called 危机. Wei means 危险, which means risk or danger, while 机 means 机会, which means opportunity. So actually, crisis in Chinese means finding and seizing the opportunities from any kind of risk or danger. It's very interesting. And speeding up of global digitalization is the opportunity. And I can feel that very strongly. And blockchain and VeChain for sure will definitely not miss this train. I'm more confident than ever about that, and even way ahead, because we have been almost obstinately focused on this path for a few years already. As a matter of fact, more enterprises are coming to us now to ask more about VeChain and VeChain ToolChain. Truth is, in terms of building up business blockchain applications, VeChain is the best, and of course, sits in the top pick. Meanwhile, during this time, there are many, for sure, there are many sentiment moments for many people. To be honest, I was thinking a lot about my dad, actually, who was also my friend and my mentor. He was a great guy and taught me everything, taught me many things I can cherish for my whole life. As a matter of fact, it was the major reason that I do respect and admire, one of my idols, the greatest entrepreneur, Steve Jobs, because Jobs shared some thoughts at Stanford, like I think it was 15 years ago, while my old man had told me something similar since my childhood. For sure, my dad told me in Chinese, so I will share the following two lines as quotes from Steve Jobs. The first one is, the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. And the second line is, and most important, have the courage to follow your heart and the intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become, and everything else is secondary. Okay, I really like that, and that's exactly what is guiding myself and also the entire VeChain team to go through this period. We have been focused on what we can do and what we should do. We optimize the team structure and we continue to polish the products to serve our goal, which never changed actually, which is creating value. Um, despite all of the challenges and difficulties, VeChain is still delivering, which really inspires the entire team. Is that VeChain continues to sign the deals, whatever expanding or new customer, new partner, even during this crazy time, it doesn't matter. We are onboarding more builders to enable them to build valuable applications on VeChain Store. Please don't ask me the names, and I have to maintain disciplines. I do love my job and I like to keep it for sure. So, all right, let's go to today's topic, VeChain Bootcamp. Before get really started, what is a VeChain Bootcamp? VeChain Bootcamp is a series of online courses about blockchain, about VeChain Soar, VeChain ToolChain, and very importantly, how you can build up valuable business applications by using them. This will be an ongoing virtual channel aiming to create lively webinar sessions for our communities. And I'm here today just to kick off, actually, because luckily I have a very brilliant team and partners, business partners, lined up to tell you guys, share you guys more in detail. Well, special thanks in advance to our business partners who are going to share the valuable learnings and experience while they have been working with us. Last but not least, today's session is about 45 minutes totally, or 1 hour, let's say, ish. And there will be the last 15 minutes will be in a Q&A session. Actually, I just have a quick guidance about the questions. Somebody was like rushed to bring up some questions, like as I remember one of the lines, as a community member or retail investor, how they can help the growth of VeChain. Actually, exactly that's what we're doing today, or on the following days, about VeChain Bootcamp. We're gonna share with you everything we have been built and everything we have done with the different partners, different projects in the different territories. So basically, we wanted to call more builders. You could be builders, like every one of you, whatever dealing with a big enterprise or small business, or even doing your own startup, you can be the builders. And we're here to help you to understand more better about the VeChain and VeChain ToolChain and other services from our partner networks. And eventually, you can be the builders to build up business applications on VeChain Soar. And then you are helping to grow for the growth of VeChain itself. All right, so let's go to the topic. Okay, so I just want to, like I mentioned, we just wanted to kick off. So my topic today is what is really missing, for blockchain applications or mass adoptions. What is really missing, right? We have been talking years and years. I remember the first time I was into this industry, it was like 2013. Until today, for sure, we see some applications, but still, people are challenging, like, why we don't feel it, why don't we see it like on a daily basis, when the mass adoptions could be coming from not only about VeChain, but actually about the entire blockchain network. And before we answer this question, let's ask a question and try to answer that. Why do we need a blockchain, right? Because blockchain is awesome. And even I don't know why, but it's just awesome, right? And so let's do a blockchain. But what about I don't know how to do it? Well, usually the answer is, oh, it's too awesome to miss it. So still, let's figure out how to do it. Come on, this is kind of, I just wanted to play a jokes here. So let's go back to the real logic. Why we need a blockchain? Let's try to answer one more time. Well, I'm sure everybody knows, especially the people in these sessions right now, blockchain has unique features, right? Like publicity, transparency, immutable to change, all of the different unique features. And we gotta find out, or we gotta try to see business can be optimized by those features, because those features are really, innovative, cutting edge, and first time brought to us, to the whole world. So business can be optimized by those features, like any kind of the technology. I have been doing the IT since when I graduated from the school. Doing the IT, usually we think about the motivations or purpose, why you want to apply some IT technologies, usually always going to the two different points. One is reduce the cost, The second one is optimize the efficiency, right? And I don't think blockchain gonna have any difference about that. So let's do a blockchain. And before we decided to really go like exactly how to do or what to do with blockchain, we need to find out the value of using the blockchain. What kind of the industries or territories you are in, you got to find a value out of that. And when you do that, when you really do that, remember, it's not just about blockchain. Blockchain is just part of that. You also have lots of different things, different technologies you need to think and eventually bring the solution and eventually review the new value created from blockchain technologies and a bunch of the others. That's the real logic. So in summary, blockchain needs to prove its business value, or business needs to find the value out of blockchain technology. That is like how it works. Otherwise, I don't think it's going to work. Honestly, that's coming from the past few years. We have been doing the same similar practices over and over again with different business partners. That's our key learnings. And does the world really need a blockchain? Actually, this is kind of like silly questions, right? And everybody has been talking, everybody has been projecting, predicting how blockchain can help the world, especially like I mentioned, during this global pandemic situation. I think the digitalization becomes even more higher priority, for everyone. So blockchain definitely is one of the key tool sets or infrastructure level technology cannot be missed. And how are we going to find the value, right? It's different territories, different industries, different use cases, or different possibilities. How are we going to find the value? I would say let's learn from internet. One of the amazing part for humankind is we're always learning from the history, so we can, speed up the evolution of the entire world. So what the internet company does, actually, internet companies do two things. Firstly, transform the user activities, traditional activities, onto the internet. For example, before you're writing a letter, now you're sending an email. Before you make a phone calls, now you can using a social chats. Before people have to, meet each other face to face, now you can do like what we're doing now, using the other technologies to go online, to go virtually meeting. So basically, the technology of internet brings so much benefits and use cases to the people, so people are able to transform some activities onto the internet. So that's the first thing. And second thing, the internet companies start to find out what is the value of data coming from those user activities on the internet. For example, Google Plus provide search functionalities for every internet users, and people are doing lots of searching things instead of going to the libraries. And then Google actually become the largest commercial companies in the world. They're using the value of the data. They're finding the value of the data and using the value of data to provide more services and creating new value, right? So that's what we learn from internet. And I would say blockchain will have no difference. And I really like this slide, following the thoughts about what we learn from internet. So what blockchain can really create the value, what kind of value blockchain really create to business, with a different level or different activities or different level of data on the blockchain, we can predicting some already realized, and also we can predicting more new values coming from that. So you can see from, if you put 0 hash data on the blockchain, that means you don't use blockchain, right? And no value coming from blockchain if you don't use. And you starting to put the raw data or data province, and then you can start to make lots of, the cost could be saving, especially in some auditing firms, like certification providers, because it's obvious you don't need to have people or workload to double check or to make sure the data people can provide you is authenticated. While you can have using like IoT data or certification the business system, the data from business systems, and connecting to the blockchain provide that kind of the provenance, and then you can save lots of the savings. I still remember a couple of years ago, the first time when I have a meeting with DNVGL, they show me a very interesting use case. There is a fishing farm in Norway, and instead of having a people manpower to managing the fishing farm, they have 30,000 different IoTs to monitor the temperature, the quality of water, the machines to provide the food to the fish, all of the things. So imagine all of the data can be secured by the blockchain and can be trusted. What kind of the service, what kind of the value can be coming from that? And going further, the data on the blockchain has a unique feature. For sure, they will have a unique value. And when you analyze, when you're going through some business analysis, and you will definitely need to adjust, the weights about the data, because data on the blockchain can be more trusted. And for given an example, if we talk about the AI, how to process the data, nowadays, when AI process data, basically you treat the data in the equal level. However, in the future, we could have different categories or even more data coming from internet or data coming from normal system, and data coming from blockchain could be of a different weights. Even could improve the efficiency of AI processing, and coming with the different business values. And for sure, when we have more and more players on board to the blockchain, I'm 100% positive sure we can find new values out of the new collaborations between that. So if you look at, the X-rays, you can see more data on the blockchain, you will have more players. And that's exactly the beauty of the blockchain, to create a new type of network effect about the value. So I think we already answered the question about why do we need a blockchain? And in short, we need to find a value. So the next question is, how are we going to build up value based on the blockchain technology and the others? So we have, based on our experiences in the past few years, we summarize actually building up a blockchain application is not just about blockchain itself. Okay, I have to emphasize that one more again. So basically, if we talk about the value proposition about blockchain applications, you can see on the top is a blockchain level. And then on top of that, you need some kind of tools to interact of blockchain, collecting the data from the different ways, like IoTs or existing business systems, or even the human inputs, and how to interact with blockchain, whatever is just for data provenance or more complicated activities represented by the smart contracts. And then on top of that, when you have more people, more players connected to that, start to building up the use case on the blockchain, you can find the new collaboration way among those new players. So basically, we are thinking about, the system more than just will have a different meaning only for one enterprise, but what about for all of the players? How to make the system collaborate each other among the multiple different players. And especially, I would say, coming from this pandemic situation, I would say the global economy will have a new form. I think many people believe that. And when we have a new form of global economy, and that means new form of business collaborations across the different countries, different territories, and blockchain is perfect for that. So we're thinking we are planning where we can see actually there will be new business systems across the multiple different enterprises or entities for new business collaborations. And then on top of that, like any other IT systems, when you have the data, when you have new collaborations, more than just improve the efficiency, you can have a business analysis, the new type of business analysis and the visualization. Give an example. Nowadays, we're talking about the supply chain. Usually, we talk about one enterprise, right? We talk about the service. We talk about solutions. Usually, we always coming from angle or perspective from one enterprise to see like, okay, what are upstreaming suppliers, what are downstreaming distributors or retailers, or what's our customers, how we can make it more efficient for one enterprise. But when we have this kind of the setup or this kind of a new form, when we look at the new type of supply chain, we don't just look at the one enterprise. Actually, we can look at the whole industries. We could treat every players in the supply chain equally, and see the contributions, see the values, and I'm sure there will be much more efficiency and much more value can be out of that. And last but not least, we need to deliver. We need to reveal the value. We need to let the people to see what kind of benefits they can get it. Not only for enterprise level, like, okay, I can make my supply chain more efficient. I can minimize my stock to reduce the cost, or I can deliver more quickly the products to my customers, but also to the consumers, how to see the value. So the business value visualization is also important. When you see ever from a mobile phone, from a PC, or any kind of way, even from a TV, this is also very important, right? So when we understand all of the architecture, or let's say like a mind map, how to build up a blockchain applications, actually you can easily to see the barriers of organizations or enterprises try to adopt the blockchain technology for new values. You can read about that. Actually, I just wanted to emphasize, or I just wanted to emphasize references. Think about that. 20 years ago, okay, when the enterprise, a company, tried to build up an e-commerce platform, what was the situation? It was very hard. It was really, really hard, because basically you got to build up everything from scratch. You will start to write about the website. You got to write about the logic of stock management, supply chain replenishment rules. You got to even try to attach the third-party payment service. Actually, at that time, there was no third-party payment services. You got to build up the interfaces to the bank account transfer, something like that, right? Because at that time, the whole word about the e-commerce is, let's say, lack of services and tools, proper tools and proper services. So it was very hard for anyone to build up the e-commerce from an enterprise point of view. But if you look at it today, actually you can see very easily to build up an e-commerce platform for even for a new startup company, try to sell some amazing new products. You can have multiple different options. You can build up your own, and you can choose different tools, or directly you can choose different platforms like Amazon or Alibaba. Just using the full set of service, and you can start to sell stuff online. And you don't need to worry about the payment things. You don't need to worry about the customer support or even the digital marketing. There are a bunch of adequate services available for you. So the similar situation actually for blockchain is right now, because the whole it's new. Blockchain is new, and honestly, for the first 10 years, we have been, the people in the blockchain space have been focusing on the technology, which is totally normal and totally right. But now, when we think about how to build up blockchain applications, we need more. We need more tools. We need more standards, best practices. also we need more players come, to inject the kind of a business senses or business management into the whole package and to make blockchain applications. So what is really missing? We can see this kind of chart. When we think about the blockchain applications, it's more than just blockchain itself, right? And usually you got to have blockchain networks, nodes, to be able to deploy smart contracts and then going further. So right now, we can see multiple different blockchain as a service solution in the market already, whatever from AWS or from Microsoft Azure. Um, they have the blockchain as a service. And also like recently, a very hot topic as a BSN from China. It's the same thing. They provide the blockchain as a service to help everybody to set up the nodes, set up the networks very easily. But honestly, it's not enough because we also need to integrate with other technologies like IoTs or the systems of existing systems like ERP of enterprises or companies. Or if you don't have existing systems, you still need to build up that kind of let's say operational softwares to help you to interact with the blockchain and make the digitalization. And then you can enjoy the benefits or enjoy the features, utilize the features of the blockchain. And on top of that, actually, we need more services. Whatever like DNVGO can provide the assurance services or PwC providing advisory services. I just make two examples here, but actually we need more because when you build up the blockchain application, it's not just building up a software. You are transforming the business activities into some new kind of form, new digitalization, right? It's more than just about technology itself, but also about business transformation, business integration. So you need more people to help you, the expertise to help you to do that. And that's about the VeChain ToolChain actually. It's a whole set. We not only focus on, in the past few years, we're not only focused on building up the platform itself, but also building up the tools, summarize our experiences, and even some hard learnings into that kind of tool. And also, we spend lots of time and energy to build up the current business partner networks. As a matter of fact, like I mentioned, there were a few business partners. They are really good enough and willing to come here in the following webinar sessions to share with you what they have done with the different clients, different companies. It's very, very interesting and valuable, actually. So what ToolChain is? Actually, ToolChain is, I will call it kind of like a middleware. And also it's a SaaS. It's a SaaS solution for people wanting to build up blockchain applications for either your own business or your clients very easily and review the business value very easily. There were several different core features. And firstly, like I mentioned, we have a template. Like I said, the whole blockchain space is missing the best practice for building up blockchain applications for different industries, whatever, for automobile, for food, for certification, for sustainability. When you try to do something, basically you just gotta figure out everything by yourself and starting everything from scratch. While we have done similar things in the last 3 years, and we have templates, and we have best practices, and always the big names, right? And so we integrate those templates into the VeChain ToolChain. So for anyone, for example, you wanted to trace, you want to provide some food safety for whatever, like olive oil or milk or wine, you can choose a template using by those big names and start it immediately. So basically, you don't need to, come up with, you don't need to do everything from scratch. You can just easily to use. Maybe after the training, you can just, spend like 30 minutes to 1 hour you can start to deploy this application or services to your own products or your own business. And what about the customer customization? Well, we always know, there is a conflict about the usual SaaS solution, because SaaS provider like us, we want to make sure it's standard, it's common, can cover, most of people's needs. While most of the customers or most of the enterprises, they want a customization. They always have somewhere, you gotta do some customized. So our methodology is we standardize what we can standardize, the most common part. In terms of customization, we can provide standard tool to help the enterprise, to help the companies to do the customization easily. So we also, other than the basic module, we also have advanced module like process builder. You can play by yourself to building up your own processes. You can set up the step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to fit your own business process and easily building up the template and module into the ToolChain, and you can start to apply to the different products. And also we have the technical sets like SDKs and APIs. Even if you want to go even further to do, well, some people really like, to do, if you really want to do start everything from scratch, we can provide some easy tools to ease your pain, ease your difficulties. Okay, so for sure, this kind of the offerings will minimize development costs and lead time. We're not talking about years. We're talking about 3 months, 2 months, and you can do this kind of customization. And if you just use the process builder like embedded tool, we talk about the days. And like I mentioned, the very important thing is how you're going to review the value to the users. How you're going to review the value, make it more visible, make it more even touchable. So we have a very important module in the VeChain ToolChain is called landing page, which you can share all of the contents about your product, your business to the people you want to share, right? So simply, when the user just to scan the QR code or touch the NFC, any kind of identification of the product or services, and then instantly they can see what kind of the packet, what kind of the contents you want to share with the users. Not only about static information like, okay, coming from which company, which brands, or some product information, product introduction, but also some dynamic data coming from whatever, even from IoT devices or the systems, like to showing, for example, the location of the products or logistic parts of the products, even like during the cold chain supply chain, we can collect the temperature to make sure like the milk is securely transported with the guarantee of the quality. So not only about static information, also about the dynamic information. And even better, you can customize your marketing information. You want to have the different marketing campaigns for this batch of the product. You will have different for the next batch. Even it's the same type of product, but you can customize different marketing campaigns, marketing packages to your consumers. And for sure, going further, you could have more interactions with the clients through this kind of landing page. So you can directly talking to your consumers, to your end users. Let your product be your sales, be your frontier, to directly touch your clients. And for sure, also ToolChain, like I mentioned, we are able to interact with multiple different IoTs, not necessarily to be the chipset from VeChain provisions, but coming from our partners. For example, some like RFID or NFC provider, they can directly integrate their technology into the VeChain ToolChain and providing the whole sets services to their customers. Okay, just given an example how to use that. For sure, my team and also our business partners will share you more about the different use cases. But here is just a recent example. I really like that. So you can see this is for a topic we call sustainable fashion. How to prove your fashion business or your products is sustainable. As a matter of fact, actually, this customer, they have a very strong ambition. I really admire that. They global CEO mentioned by 2030, they want to cover 100% of products globally with sustainability. That's a really, really important. And I think it's a really big contribution for that day comes to the whole world. So how are we going to do that? We actually, collecting the data from the different critical steps, including raw materials, manufacturing, supply chain, retailing, even from the customers, and in the different steps and interact with the blockchain, and to put the data as the provenance on the blockchain. And also the service provider, as a DMVGO, they can, based on the data, to provide the digital verification service. And instead of sending experts everywhere to do the auditing, to do the inspection, just doing everything online. And then you can, based on that kind of data and also the the expertise from DMVGO, we are able to provide the proven and qualified sustainability and a quantified sustainability, like how much you really contribute to that. And then last but not least, tell my customers, tell them that product, every step, is fitting the sustainable, fitting the SDGs coming from United Nations. And honestly, I believe from my observation, and more people around the world, including everywhere, US, West, Europe, China, Southeast Asia, more and more people, more and more customers are really care about that and willing to pay for that. Because honestly, it's for everybody. And also for our children, for the next generation to have a better environment, better earth. So just given a video to see like how it really works. I'm sure most of them you already see that. It's a nice sweater. So you see scan the My Story QR code, and you got every sustainable stories. From different recycled raw materials, manufacturing processes. So sustainability for everywhere. And verified by DMVGO. Okay. All right. So quickly, let's make a summary. What a VeChain, ToolChain can really do differently. We talk about the different levels, right? Blockchain, the tools, infrastructure tools. Actually, most of the let's say options in the market right now focus on those two things. And if you want to go further, usually it's customized developments, taking time, very high cost. So it's really hard to especially for small business enterprise to start immediately. So ToolChain providing more than that, including the applications, and also easily we can connecting you to our service partners. Whatever you need, advisory service before you do that, or you want an assurance service or verification service after that, we have the best of the best in the world to help you. Okay, and I want to show the roadmap of VeChain ToolChain. It's not coming from nowhere or just like that. We suddenly to have this. Actually, we have been building since 2016. The first version, it was really ugly, but also to me, it was beautiful because everything starting from there. And our first customer, like Givenchy, was using that. And every year we start to iterate the products, and we're going to continue to iterate that until this year. We launched the 4.1 actually. It can provide not only about standard modules, including the basic templates you can use, but also have an advanced module like a process builder. You can do the customization. And going even further, we already have lineup requirements coming from our partners have been planned. 4.1, 4.2, and 4.3 will deliver more applications or more modules, more functionalities. So basically, we make VeChain ToolChain's modularized system, and you can have like a step menu in the future based on your needs, based on the needs of your customers or your business partners. And you can choose the different modules and group like play a Lego very easily to provide the final total package, total solutions to your customers. So let's start now. Not only about build, but also implement, and then eventually we get adopted. So remember, very importantly, remember, find the value, and then we help you to enable you to find the value and build up value for the business, right? So VeChain's position is enabler. That's very important. We build up the infrastructure, we provide the tools, and enable you, every one of you, to build up value, to build up the business applications. And eventually, I'm sure, I believe this is the only way can help the business, can help the blockchain goes to the whole world and helping people make the whole world better. So the power is actually in your hand. And we just provide you the nice tools to do that, right? Okay. So we can go to the Q&A session to answer some questions. Yeah, I saw that. As a retail investor or fan, what can I do to help the growth of VeChain? So, start to learn about VeChain ToolChain. Oh, also for sure, we will have more materials. Honestly, developing VeChain ToolChain is a very nice but also very difficult journey. Let's say we gotta keep iterating to answer the different needs and to work with the different partners. Especially thanks to DMVGL, they really help a lot on this development as well. So sometimes we are kind of let's say some kind of like a user guide or marketing materials is behind the technical delivery. I know this is something we should improve. We definitely need to improve that. So we will have more materials released and make sure everybody can start to test it, can really bring the business very easily on that. Okay, so let's go to some other questions. Firstly, I'd like to congratulate the performance in the APAC countries and like to know the projection of the transaction of the next 12 months due to this partnership. Actually, I will leave this question to Sarah's session because Sarah will bring Davey, who is really the driver behind these initiatives. Thank you, Davey, for that. And we are very happy to be part of this. Honestly, this initiative, starting from food, but I'm sure it will go more than food. So in terms of projections or in terms of transactions, I think they will give you some ideas. So what gives VeChain advantage over our competitors? Okay, from different levels, I would say. Maybe I can switch to these slides here, right? Blockchain networks, we're smart contract platforms, and honestly, we have been running for more than almost 2 years, and it's running perfectly well. And also, in terms of capacity, it's fitting all of our customers. We're talking about 60, 70 different business partners are running the smart contracts. Okay. Also, plus, I want to give you some numbers to prove that. In 2018, the first half year, we starting from June 2018, and the first half year total transactions on the VeChain store is about 500,000. Okay, not much. Everything starts from small. But in 2019, we're talking about 45 million transactions or 45 million clauses, and 80% or more than 80% of them, those transactions are coming from business smart contracts. So I would say, I'm proud to say, if in terms of talking about business applications or business values, this kind of blockchain platforms, we are the best. And on top of that, why we can attract so many business partners are using VeChain blockchain, because we did something no one ever did before. We don't go from technical point of view. Actually, before we started to build up the VeChain blockchain, we really get started, and we interview 40, 50 different executives from different enterprises. We just simply ask a question like, okay, blockchain, and why don't build up something on the blockchain? What do you need? What are the barriers to stop you to build up blockchain applications? And then we summarize that and make the enterprise-friendly features for companies, right? For example, like on the infrastructure tools level, we have multiple different features. We were the first one to start it. For example, like MPP as a fee delegation, NFT, multitask transactions, and some like transaction lifecycle, conditional transactions. So these kind of features are really friendly to enterprise and easily for them to adopt it. And more importantly, like I mentioned several times, I have to emphasize again, building up blockchain applications is not just technology, and not just the blockchain technology, but some others. And like I mentioned, like business integrations, business transformations, and finding the value is more than that. You need to have a commitment, you need to have a consensus from business parties, from business players, so people are able to join together, creating a new value to taking the great advantage of blockchain technologies. And that's what we're good at. Keep the open mind, bring people together, bring different enterprises together. Give an example, when we started with BYD, it's a simple use case. And then we bring the more like business partners, like a PICC for insurance, a hospital for carbon contributor, DMVGO for sure for service provider. So more enterprise or more entity can join and more value can create. As a matter of fact, we have been working with a new business partner. They are providing, let's say, the data of Internet of Cars for multiple different brands of automobiles. They wanted to using ToolChain, using VeChain technologies to transform their data service out of that for their customers. And also there is an insurance company on board on that as well. So they are able to provide the different level of insurance packages based on the different data. They can trust it. So everybody is having a winning situation, right? The Internet of Cars data provider can provide a new data service to their customers, and insurance company can have multiple options for the users. And because of that, the automobile companies are able to provide, rich for prosperous services and values to the consumers, and the consumers will be more loyalty to them. So everybody has a winning situation, right? So that's, in short, blockchain application is more than just technology. They got a bunch more. And I think even in the whole world, I would say we are doing very, very good here. And we are the best. But for sure, myself and my team as well, keep this awareness. Like we have to continue to iterate, continue to improve ourselves to make sure we are in the leading position in the coming years as well. Okay, what are you most excited about during this coming quarter? Honestly, for the first quarter of 2020, um, like I mentioned, it was a crazy time. But I'm really proud about that. Is even during this crazy time, lockdown everywhere, people are more focused on the virus situation for sure. But we're still signing deals. We're signing deals. We're onboarding the partners not only from China. Well, China was the first one to kind of recover from the virus, but also from some other countries. Like you saw that the APAC initiative coming from Sarah and Davey. So I'm really proud about that. Like despite all of the challenges and difficulties, my team is still delivering. We are delivering. So it proves, imagine once the pandemic situation get cleared out, how much scale up we can go. I'm sure we can go even further. And also about the coming quarter, like a quarter two, I would say we're very exciting about the digital speed up, the global digitalization, like I mentioned, and the truth has been told. More enterprise, even some enterprise was trying something different before and come back because we have better offerings, because we have a whole sets and can ease the process to build up blockchain applications. I was really, really exciting and expecting that kind of a coming in the coming quarters. And for sure, I hope the global pandemic situation will fading away as soon as quick as we can, to bring people's life back to the normal. And also we can eventually finally speed up the scale up. Last but not least, we're expecting the new products coming from DNVGO. They have been really focused on and really going full speed at digitalization, digital transformation from the traditional business to the new type of business forms. So I'm really excited about that as well. So how big is the VeChain team is? Is it expanding in 2020? We're optimizing the team structure, to be honest. And nowadays we have around 65 to 70 people globally. But for sure, with the business growth and progress, definitely we wanted to expand, and we wanted to hire the best people. We want to get the best people in the team to be able to, to promote and share our expertise, our experiences, and our fantastic tools to help more builders to building up the value and creating the transactions, creating valuable transactions, and also engage more business partners to do so together. So let's go for next question. What happened with the 1 million transaction for this year is postponed because COVID-19? Honestly, I didn't really look at the number so far, but I'm sure my team can help to give me the number later on. I would say for sure some of the projects were impacted because of the COVID-19. Some of the ongoing projects have been delayed or have been postponed for a few months because people are working from home and people have more priority to care. We have to respect that. It's about life and death. But I would say I'm expecting rebounds coming from once the global pandemic situation was cleared. VeChain, ToolChain. Okay, so next question: VeChain, ToolChain will work directly with big enterprises? Yes or no? I mean, for sure, we will. VeChain, ToolChain will working with the big enterprises like DNVGL, like PwC, like Deloitte. They can serve the other they customers, but also it could be the perfect tool, even better for small enterprises because it's lower cost, quickly deliver, and easy to use. Again, I wanted to reinforce the VeChain's position, even VeChain, ToolChain's position. VeChain is enabler. We want to enable more builders to provide valuable applications to your customers, to build up valuable applications to your customers, your services, you provide services to your clients as well. So VeChain, ToolChain is a tool, and we wanted to share with everybody to onboard more builders to build. Okay. All right. Somebody asked the question in Chinese, like what time for Chinese broadcasting? Well, we can do that, but also, we are a global platform, and we have a very big community globally, from Netherlands, from US, whatever, West and East Coast, and entire Europe, Singapore. So we have to take care majority of our people, right? To use the English, try to use English to make sure everybody can get it. For sure, I'm sure my team will prepare some Chinese documents, articles to share more with you guys. Can we switch screens, please? Which screens? My presentation screens? Okay, switch to, thank you. Okay, let's pick up the last question. I think it's pretty late. Is VeChain DPoS or POA? What is the difference between those? Yes, actually, VeChain is a POA, proof of authority. To answer this question better, you can follow the webinar, and our chief scientist, Dr. Peter Zhou, will give you more details about the POA, and more than that, not only about the current proof of authority, but also the POA 2.0. We're going to bring more features and make it more secure, more reliable for that. So stay tuned about the webinar sessions. You will find the answers from Dr. Peter Zhou's session. All right. So yeah, that's the whole session. I hope I make a good kickoff, and I hope even more my team can exceed, bring you guys more information and knowledge about VeChain, and knowledge about the VeChain, ToolChain, and most importantly, our business partners will share the experiences with you guys, how they can build up, how they can provide a value to the whole world and make the world better, right? So thank you very much for that, and hope to see you soon, quickly. Bye.